Good morning, my boys. Yesterday we completed reading lesson 5, and I told you yesterday that I shall tell you something about the text, about the story, about the message conveyed through the story. And after that, we shall discuss a grammatical item. But we shall come about it afterwards. At first, we have to discuss something about the message of the text. We have a specific message conveyed through this text. এই গল্পের মধ্যে দিয়ে লেখক কিন্তু আমাদের কাছে একটা একটা সুনির্দিষ্ট একটা বার্তা পৌঁছে দিয়েছেন. She conveyed a specific message to us through this story. What the message is? What is the message? We often, whenever we are in smooth waters, যখন খুব সবকিছু ঠিকঠাক চলছে, we often express disgust over our family, over our relatives, isn't it? Sometimes you also do this. Oh, so relatives are there, so many relatives are there. They often come to our house and the house becomes a dharmashala, something like that. We often do. Whenever we are in smooth waters. But when we are left alone, we can realize the importance of our family. If we were all alone, we would be absolutely in a dire state, my boys. আমরা যদি কখনো একদম একা হয়ে যাই, আমরা ফিল করব আমরা কিন্তু ভীষণ বিপর্যস্ত একটা অবস্থায় পড়েছি. Just think of the present situation. We have our own family, our grandparents, our parents, your grandparents, your parents. But all of you, each of you have a greater family. That is your school, your society, friends in school, friends in your para, isn't it? You are missing them. And now you are feeling their absence. They are now very, very conspicuous by their absence to you. So, we all need relations. We all need family. Family is a boon for all of us. This is never a botheration, never a thing of disgust. So, we have to value our family. We have to value our relations. And we must be very hearty about our relations. We must be very sincere about keeping our relations warm. Okay? Now, let's come to the next topic. That is a grammatical item that has been taught in this text. That is how to frame questions. You know, we sometimes have to ask questions to others for getting some information, for getting a consent or something like that. So, we must make some questions in our daily life. These questions are always interrogative sentences, you know, because interrogative sentences are there only to make questions. But all questions are not of same characteristics. You have to learn this. All questions are not of same characteristics. You know, there are 9 interrogative pronouns and adverbs. 9. That is, you know, everybody of you know, why, what, when, where, which, who, whose, whom, and how. These are also called in modern grammar WH words. WH words. You may ask me Sir, how is it? Why are they called WH question? WH what? Because all of them begin with WH. Now you will ask, sir, how does not begin with WH? It begins with only H. Yes, but the pronunciation is the same as WH, and they this pronoun also does the same thing that other 8 pronouns do. That is why it is also a part of WH words. All these are interrogative pronouns. So when any question begins with a WH word, these questions are called WH questions. Who are you? What are you doing? Why are you going there? All these are WH questions. We know in interrogative sentences, auxiliary verbs are always placed before the subject, isn't it? So there are some other interrogative sentences, other questions, where the question begins with an auxiliary verb. Such questions are called interrogative statements. That means the questions that begin with WH words are called WH questions, and the questions that begin with auxiliary verbs are called interrogative statements. Now, there is another difference between these two types. Questions beginning with WH words are often information question. What is information question? কাকে বলা হবে ইনফরমেশন কোয়েশ্চেন? আমি এতক্ষণ কি বললাম একটু বাংলায় চট করে বুঝিয়ে দিই। ইংরেজিতে সবটা সবসময় কথা বলি না ক্লাসে, ইংরেজিও বলি বাংলাও বলি, তো এখানেও সেটা করি। আমরা তো প্রশ্ন করি, প্রশ্ন করার জন্য যে সেন্টেন্স ব্যবহার করি তাকে ইন্টারোগেটিভ সেন্টেন্স বলে। ইন্টারোগেটিভ সেন্টেন্স তৈরি করার নিয়মটা ছোটবেলা থেকে তোরা শিখে আসছিস, অক্সিলিয়ারি ভার্বটা সাবজেক্টের আগে চলে আসে, কোনো অক্সিলিয়ারি না থাকলে ডু অক্সিলিয়ারি আসে। তা আমরা যত প্রশ্ন করি তার কিছু কিছু WH ওয়ার্ড দিয়ে শুরু হয়। WH ওয়ার্ড কোনগুলো তোরা জানিস, ওটা আর বলছি না। তো যে প্রশ্নগুলো, যে কোয়েশ্চেনগুলো WH ওয়ার্ড দিয়ে শুরু হয় তাতেও কিন্তু অক্সিলিয়ারি ভার্ব সাবজেক্টের আগে আসে। তো সেগুলো হচ্ছে WH কোয়েশ্চেন্স। আর যেগুলো অক্সিলিয়ারি ভার্ব দিয়ে শুরু হয়, WH ওয়ার্ড দিয়ে শুরু হচ্ছে না, সেগুলোকে বলে ইন্টারোগেটিভ স্টেটমেন্ট। এবারে যে কোয়েশ্চেনগুলো WH কোয়েশ্চেন, সেগুলো বেশিরভাগ ক্ষেত্রে হয় ইনফরমেশন কোয়েশ্চেন। হোয়াট is information question? Information question is also called open-ended question. Open-ended question. What is information question or open-ended question? An open-ended question is a question that cannot be answered with yes or no. An open-ended question is one that cannot be answered with yes or no. You cannot answer an open-ended question or an information question with yes or no. As for example, suppose I ask you, what is your name? And you answer, yes. Will it be an answer? Will it be an answer? Okay. So, this is open-ended question. This is information question. That question demands some information, not yes or no. And why? That is, as it demands some information, this is called information question. But why is it named open-ended question? The same thing. The information question and open-ended question are the same things. These questions are called open-ended question because it opens up a new horizon for discussion. যখনই আমরা কোনো একটা ইনফরমেশন কাউকে দিলাম, সেই ইনফরমেশনের সূত্র ধরে আবার একটা কনভারসেশন, আরও কোয়েশ্চেন চলতে পারে। যখন আমরা কারোর সঙ্গে বেশ কিছুক্ষণ আলাপচারিতা করব নতুন পরিচিত লোকের সঙ্গে, এটাই নিয়ম, তাকে তাকে তার সঙ্গে বেশিরভাগ কনভারসেশনের সময় কোয়েশ্চেন করতে হলে ওপেন এন্ডেড কোয়েশ্চেন করতে হয়, যাতে তার থেকে আমরা আরও কিছু ইনফরমেশন পেতে পারি। এটা কিন্তু শিখে রাখার মতো জিনিস। So, open-ended information question or open-ended question is one that cannot be answered with yes or no response or with a static response. You cannot stop it somewhere. Open-ended questions are phrased as a statement which requires a response. Do you understand? ওপেন-এন্ডেড কোয়েশ্চেন সবসময় এমনভাবে বলা হবে যেটা সবসময় একটা নতুন কিছু রেসপন্স দাবি করবে, কোথাও থামিয়ে দেবে না। তাহলে ইনফরমেশন কোয়েশ্চেন্স ইজ দ্য কোয়েশ্চেন দ্যাট ক্যান নট বি আনসার্ড উইথ ইয়েস অর নো। It always demands some information. You have to furnish some information whenever you are answering an information question. And the WH questions, the questions beginning with WH words that I have already told you, the questions beginning with WH words are in most cases information questions or open-ended questions. So, we have learned information question or open-ended question. Now, the other type of interrogative sentence, that is simple questions or close-ended questions. Simple questions or close-ended questions. Try to understand, my boys. Simple questions or close-ended questions are those which provide an option and do not necessarily require any information. কি বললাম? যে সিম্পল কোয়েশ্চেন বা ক্লোজ এন্ডেড কোয়েশ্চেন হচ্ছে এমন কতগুলো প্রশ্ন যেগুলো একটা অপশন চায়, ইয়েস অর নো, একটা অপশন চায়। সাধারণত নেসেসারিলি একদম দিতেই হবে এইরকম ভাবে কোনো ইনফরমেশন চায় না। কেউ ধর তোকে প্রশ্ন করলো, আর ইউ গোয়িং টু স্কুল? সে কিন্তু তোর কাছ থেকে একটা অপশন চাইছে, ইয়েস আই এম গোয়িং টু স্কুল, নো আই এম নট গোয়িং টু স্কুল। ইয়েস অর নো ইজ ইনাফ, ইজন্ট ইট? কোনো ইনফরমেশন সে চাইছে না। তার মানে as soon as you answer yes or no, the answer stops there. There is no need to continue the conversation. That is called simple questions or close-ended questions. The conversation becomes to a standstill. The conversation closes down there. Do you understand, my boys? The questions beginning with auxiliary verbs, that is am, is, are, was, were, or any model, the questions beginning with such auxiliary verbs are always close-ended questions. And you can test yourself. Whenever you ask someone, what's your name? The person spoken to must give you an information about his name, isn't it? যে আমার নাম অমুক। But if you ask him, have you done your homework? He can answer yes. He can answer no. He does not necessarily furnish any information about his achievement of about homework. So that is the difference between these two types of questions. Do you understand, my boys? The two types of questions. Now you have to work out the activities, and we shall discuss the activities the next day, and after that we shall work out the writings. There are two writings here. There are two writings here. The first one is a conversation concerning a tire puncture, tire of a cycle punctured, and concerning this incident, there is a conversation between you and the mechanic in a cycle repair shop. Conversation is a very easy thing, and you can do it yourself very well. I have noticed it in your answer scripts that you are quite adept at working out such questions. And next writing activity is a story writing, and there is a twist in this story. It is actually an age-old fable, but there is a twist at the end of this fable. We shall discuss the next day after working out the activities, the story, but shall not discuss the first one, that is the conversation. You will have to do it yourself. Okay, my boys? Bye. See you the next day.